Welcome to EmPowerrr 2021, the first non-WWE women's pay-per-view that has some level of notoriety. Guys, proving Vince wrong. That's the best title for this show. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Hang on a minute. A little too bright. Is this an amazing show? No. There were a lot of problems. The beginning of the show didn't start. They didn't start until 8 or 9 minutes after they were supposed to start at 8. So they had issues. There was sound problems. There was a little bit of lighting problems. The camera work was not perfect. And I'm going to tell you 100% as a guy who always says that camera work is key. It is important that people must understand that for people who are home, who are not at the arena or at the chase, who are watching it in person, it is important to show what's in the damn ring. And that didn't all come out right. Now, I know, mind you, there are going to be some guys and some girls are going to be saying, shut the fuck up. I was enjoying the titty and ass. There are some that's going to go there. And I know there's going to be some that's going to go there. But as a guy who is a honest reviewer, I got to tell you that if you want to see what was going on in the ring, not all the time you could see it. There was some botches with the camera work. That's no lie about it. The audio was not perfect. It wasn't. The lighting itself wasn't 100% great. It got a little better. But overall, was this a good pay-per-view? Yes, it was. Now, it wasn't great in the very beginning, but it built up until the very end, and the crowds were going crazy by the end of it. That's no lie. That's legit. Like, legit, Leia Hurst. This was legit. I have to say, I did enjoy this pay-per-view, and if I get the time, I'll probably review well, there were certain matches I really liked personally for myself. So those will be the matches that I'm going to be watching, and I will tell you the matches that were okay, but not perfect. Now, the opening of this, and as I said, it started late, say about 8 or 9 minutes late, because when I was watching the stream, there was nothing there. I checked around to see if there was something wrong with the stream, like my internet. And my internet's fine, but there was no stream. It seemed there was some type of issue, but when it got straightened out, the person that you saw that came out was Mickie James. And she made it very clear how important this was. Now, she didn't make it. She somewhat made it about herself. There's no lie. And it's understandable because she's the executive producer for EmPowerrr. She made it somewhat about herself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And let's be honest here, it is very rare for women to have a very high position in a promotion. Like Peter Maivia, The Rock's grandfather, he had a promotion in Hawaii, I believe in Hawaii, and his wife was running it. But Peter Maivia was the one who started it. And he did have his wife run it to a certain extent, or almost all of it. But doing a pay-per-view like this, I doubt there's been very few women have ever been able to accomplish this. And I'm not tooting the horn for women, but I am being honest for what we see. If you look beyond the last 20 to 30 years has been WWE and been Vince. Here, yes, Billy Corgan's running it, but he gave total control over to Mickie to run it. And that does mean something. And she wanted to make it very clear how important this was to not just her as a woman who is still a wrestler, active one, that this is the first true time that we can see that we can make money. And they did say that they sold out the arena. I'm sure they got a good amount of pay-per-view buys because it cost $40, $39.99 to get it. So I'm sure they made some good money. Now, did they make great money? I don't know. I don't think so. But they probably made some good-ass money. And that's how they got started. Now, the opening match was a battle of the brands. That's what they called it. AAA versus AEW versus, well, I gotta say this when it came to NWA versus AEW versus AAA. It was sloppy. Kylie Ray, what was the girl's name? Tormentia. I believe that's her name. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm sorry. I've never seen her before. What is her? Chick Tormentia. I believe that was her name. And Diamante. I saw Diamante come out, and I just, something was telling me there was something about Diamante that she was going to make this match mean something. She was going to spotlight it. And she did. Now, here's the problem that I saw with the match. There was a lot of telegraphing of moves. Like I said in my last review of Impact, that sometimes you cannot really feel the match if there's someone waiting for one person getting their spot to the next spot and to the next spot. It's got to be fluid. And when it came to Diamante dealing with Kylie Ray, there was a lot of one person having to wait for another person getting to the right spot so they can go and do the next spot. And when it came to Chick Tormentia, I believe that's her name, she also had to do a lot of spots. But I got to say this about her. She was interesting, but it felt like there was something missing. I don't know what it was. With her, it felt like it wasn't that she wasn't professional enough, like she hadn't been in the business for a while, but it kind of felt like she was off. Maybe the chemistry was not working with either Diamante or Kylie Ray. I just don't know which one it was. But one of them was off, and she was not clicking with them very well in the very beginning of it. By the end, it got a lot better, and in the end, Diamante won. And I agree with it, because Diamante, comparing to Kylie Ray or to Tormentia, felt a lot more fluid, felt a lot more serious, and a lot more impactful. She was rough with her ass. She literally gave if you've ever seen the 300 movie and you hear this is Sparta and you give the kick and they go off the wherever they're gonna fall, that was the type of kick she gave. She was a rough ass woman. Not saying that Tormentia didn't do too. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, we got the first match of the semifinals for the being brought back, the NWA women's titles. Finally, the women's tag titles. They haven't been around since what? They said 28 years, but in actuality, it sounded like it was 38 years. No, I'm not sure. It's supposed to be 1993, the last time those titles have been in existence. But then they talked a lot about, I think I might be getting something a little confused. Because it was a little confusing about let me put it to you like this. The Hex versus Hell on Heels was a good match. The one problem I saw, what was her name? Sevens, felt very green. You pretty much had, look, Allison Kay is wonderful. Marty Bell is great. She has her moments where she screws up, but she's really a good wrestler. When it came to, Renee Michelle, I wish I could marry that woman. Not because she's like this, because I have heard that she's sweet as hell. And yes, she's like, but sweet as hell is someone you want to see. And from what I understand, she does still follow a smaller part of Native American culture, tiny bit. I would love to meet her. I'd love to marry her. But the match was not bad, but it took Marty, Allison, and Renee to do the match. When it came to, what was her name? I can't remember her name, but Shiera Sevens or Seven, she was sloppy. And I do believe that she's still new in the business. That's what I got from her. That, yes, she's a big-ass woman. Strong to a certain extent, but she felt unrefined. Either she's been in the business 3, 4, maybe 5 years. She needs more work. And I just didn't feel it from her. That's just me. You guys tell me below. But in the end, it was the Hex of Marty Bell and Allison Kay who won. And I'm fine with that. But I just wish, and this is just me, when it comes to Renee Michelle, She went to the Mae Young Classic and did a great job there. Then she was on Raw for a while. And then I think she also went to SmackDown. And she had that story with Rockstar Spud. And I just felt like she never got her due. The woman is a good wrestler. She has a moments where she could be a bit sloppy, but she's a good wrestler. I just wish she would get something better. Maybe she gets signed to maybe Impact and really been giving a really good push. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, we had Gail Kim coming out, and we had a very special moment. A special moment to say how she helped to promote, along with everyone else before her, this moment. Then you have the genocide, and who is that other woman? Let me see. I'm trying to find her name. Tyler Blaze, along with genocide, and look, Terrence Terrell. I still love the woman, but I'm going like, okay, Terrence Terrell is about to get her ass kicked. Is she about to get her ass kicked in those high heels that are clear high heels, almost stiletto high heels? And if she does it wrong, she will break that ass. She will break her ankle. I was hoping not, but they're telling, well, she wanted Gail Kim to leave. That's what she wants. She wanted her out. She said, you had your moment. This is my show. Get the F out. And she didn't leave. And she's telling Blaze and Genocide to leave until Miss Kong came out. I believe I have a shot of her in my face. And we haven't seen her since, well, not for almost 2 years. No, not 2 years. A year and a half. Due to the fact she had an injury. Then she was supposed to film WOW, Women of Wrestling. And then she just disappeared off the map. And then AEW released her. So we haven't seen her since. But she comes to the ring, doesn't say anything, wipes the floor with Blaze, wipes the floor with Genocide, and scares Terrence Terrell out of the ring. But she faces down at Gail Kim and then grabs her mic and says, look, you know I don't say much, but I had to come here because in the land of Kong, things have not been great. But one thing could get me off my couch. The one person that can get me off my couch is the one right here. And I gotta say this, I am done, but this is the best way to go with the person that I respect and love. And both of them broke down and cried. Hearing that Awesome Kong might be retired now is actually very disheartening. For me personally, she never got a full due the way I mean, let's be honest here. She got over big in Japan. She had a great run in TNA / Impact Wrestling. She didn't really get much done in AEW. And definitely got nowhere in WWE's Karma. And was insulted by the Bella Twins making fun of her from her size. Particularly when she got pregnant. Was the most stupidest fucking storyline I've ever seen. That she was legitimately pregnant. They brought out both the Bella Twins to insult her before she left. That was so damn stupid. And I don't know why Nikki and Bree signed off on that shit. They should have said no. Because I didn't agree with it. And she never went back to the WWE after that. And I don't blame her. But if this is how she wanted to go on a woman's pay-per-view with her greatest rival from TNA / Impact Wrestling, I do agree with it. They both gave a big hug, and I believe I got a shot of it. First with her face, and then both of them together. I agree that this is the best way. If she wanted to retire, this would be the best way. If she didn't want to wrestle anymore, she just came out to make a show. I just feel really bad that she's not going to be there anymore. I just wish she would still be there. Still wrestle. Now, mind you, she could still be working in the back and bring in new people and maybe train some people. But I'm going to miss her not wrestling. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, the next match for the NWA Tag Team Tournament. And this was... how can I say this? When it came to Red Velvet and King versus... what? I don't know how to describe the not free birds, but free babes. All three of them are children of former wrestlers. They're second generation women wrestlers. I've never seen them before. I don't remember who their fathers were. So I can't say who they are. I got shots at them, at least 1 or 2 shots. The thing that gets me is that with these second generation female wrestlers, we rarely see them. We only see them on the indies. And yes, and AEW showed them, Impact showed them. WWE's barely shown any of them unless it's a person that Vince agrees with. So it's like, I kind of feel like they didn't get their due, even though they did a good job. One of them looked like a brick chicken house. I'm not going to lie here, and I'm not insulting any woman who looks like a guy, because Charlotte Flair looks like a guy, but it doesn't mean that she's ugly, okay? She may be a stick. She's still got boobs. She's still got a ladies area. She may be a stick, but she's still a woman that's not bad looking. And none of these women who looked like guys were 100% bad looking. But the one that was on the Free Babes looked like, damn. I think I got a shot of her. I don't know. If I don't, well, I'm sorry. But built thick, like a big guy. Had to look like a guy. And admittedly, I thought that might have been a guy. I'm going, wait a minute, they wouldn't put a guy in there. That's just one hell of a built woman that looks like a guy. So they did have a good showing. And the one that I kind of liked the most was Holly Hood. She was the one that was outside that threw the fake mink into the face of Red Velvet. And I gotta say this about Velvet Sky. She had her moments. Her voice was very shaky because she was highly excited. But when she said that the Velvets are here, that the Velvet Sky and the Red Velvet is here, I am enjoying that. It makes you think, if you're not too badly injured, go back in the ring and work with Red Velvet. The Velvets sound like a good team. I'm just saying. But in the end, it was King and Velvet who won. Nothing wrong with that. I was fine with it. Now, the next match, which was a damn good match. Damn good match. Dana Purrazzo versus Melina for the Impact Knockouts title. Whew. I didn't know. How can I say this? Not sounding like I didn't believe in Melina or Dana Purrazzo to actually put on a good match. It's that I didn't feel like they should have matched up the last time when they had to do a mixed tag and Melina got pinned by, Matthew. I'm not going to do his name because I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. Ringwalt. There you go. Ringwalt. If I'm pronouncing it wrong again, sorry. I just felt like it was not necessary for them to have a mixed tag. I just didn't want to see them. I wanted to make it fresh, special. Now, mind you, did this match easily outstrip that one? Hell yes. It was a very, very even match. You got two women who pretty much mirrored one another. It was quite good. I'm telling you right now, if you think Melina was not good in this match, I suggest you reevaluate the match again and take a look at it. Because if you don't like Melina, I understand. Not everyone likes Melina, particularly what happened with her and John Morrison and how she acted in WWE. I understand there's several people still see that. But I'm going by the match quality itself. And the match quality was very good. There was grapple wrestling in the very beginning. They locked up. It took a while before they broke it up. There was some level of submission. Actually, a good amount of submission or a good amount of holds that's going to force you to do a submission. They didn't do a lot of false starts and false finishes. They did a lot of submission between the two, trying to force the other one to give up. And from what I understand, Melina had a torn ACL while doing this. So she chose to wrestle with a torn ACL. If it's true, which I believe it is. She went into that ring knowing full well having a torn ACL, unless it's a story, a work, and not a shoot. She decided to still do it even though her knee would be fucked. She lost. She's in my face. I can tell you this. If there was no other women's matches after that, I would have been heavily satisfied. If that had ended the show, I would have been satisfied because it made Dana Peraza look great. It made Melina look highly legit, even though she's been a legend for years. Even with the controversy what happened in WWE and how people never saw her right because of how she was politicking in the back. That's just me. Guys, tell me below. Now, how can I say this? The women's tag title finals. The Hex versus King and Red Velvet. It was a very active match. I really did like it. It was actually better than their previous match. This one was way better. It was. And I didn't know who was going to win. Honestly, I didn't know. And I wasn't having a problem with that. I actually was not having a problem with that. And the one thing that really made this really good, you had Medusa, and I believe I got a shot of her. Medusa shows up. Now, I understand that she was working in the back, but she chose to come outside, sit on commentary, and do the... I wish she would become a commentator. Go to Impact. Become a commentator. I think she would do very well as a commentator on Impact Wrestling. I would love to see her on Impact. And supplement with D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker. Or better yet, let D'Lo Brown stop and just have Matt Striker and Medusa. I would love to see that. No problem with that. I would love it. This was a good match. And in the end, the Hex won. I wasn't surprised because I didn't think that AEW was going to get this little moment and keep those titles that have not been seen since, 1993? Because they said it was 28 years since they've been seen. 28 years since they've been seen. So, if that's true, this is a very immense moment because there is no other promotion other than WWE that's had titles longer. Well, not longer. Now, let me put this back. The WWE's had titles for women. Tag titles. They did. They had a women's title. They had tag titles. The key here is the NWA being the oldest long-standing promotion. So those tag titles were way older than the WWE's. Flat out, no question. But the WWE and the NWA both retired their titles around maybe the same amount of time. I think the WWE around the late 1980s. And they in the early 90s. So they both retired their women's tag titles nearly around the same time. And yes, the WWE brought theirs back. Impact Wrestling brought theirs back. But NWA being the first promotion that was known to have women's tag titles, and they finally decided to bring it back, was highly important. And it does mean something. But this is the big question. WWE has not promoted those damn tag titles. Impact Wrestling could not promote their titles because they did not have enough women to make it feel important. They had the same women doing the same thing, working both the main title and the tag title, and they faced each other so much that it became very, very bland. Bland. So now we bring back the NWA Women's Tag Titles. The question is, and this is highly important, will Baron Corbin, Happy Baron, will Billy Corgan make sure that he asks a lot of indie female wrestlers to come to NWA and come to challenge? Because if they only use the same women, just like Impact, just like WWE, what is the damn point of bringing them back? Because this is highly important. If Billy does not do this right, this was a damn joke. Because he wanted to get on a damn bandwagon of what WWE did, what Impact did as well, and now he did it. If he's smart, he'll make sure that he'll bring in indie wrestlers, tag them together, and make sure Allison and Marty will have fresh meat eventually. Yes, the women in NWA, they get their shots, but they must bring in people to do enhancement matches or outside of NWA to prove that they're willing to give anyone a shot. They must do it. But that's just me, you guys. Tell me below. Now, we had the women's NWA title match of legit Leah Hurst and a Camille. Now, we had Strictly Business outside. They were watching. Unfortunately, didn't get a shot of them. Only afterward, and I'm not going to put that out. Guys, Leah Hurst is a good actual amateur wrestler. She's real. As a professional wrestler, it is obvious she's still a bit green. It is obvious. She's been in the business, 5 years? And she still has a lot to learn. But here, one of the things that made it work was her legit background in amateur wrestling, because she generally tried to out-wrestle Camille. And Camille, this is the way it went. Camille did only power work. Leah Hurst did actual ring skill. And it worked pretty damn well. Now, were there moments there was hiccups that didn't work very well? Yes, there were. There were a few moments where it looked very botchy on Camille's side. And then when it comes to Leah Hurst, the same thing. Excuse me. I got a lot of gas due to the humidity in New York. And me being stupid enough to forget to take my allergy medicine gives me runny nose, down the throat, makes me belch. Just to say it again. You never know what you get on my shows. Okay. It was a good match. We got a very good amount of wrestling. Yes, there was levels of wrestling that worked. Several holds. It was good. Leah Hurst is a freaking nut. When at one point she decides she wants to do a German suplex, but instead of doing it on the mat or outside, once she's put onto the top turnbuckle by Camille, you think she's about to do a sunset flip. No. She decides to make her flip into a turning... I wish I could have caught the shot, but she did a turning German suplex off the top turnbuckle where Camille was on the second turnbuckle, and she threw her ass back into the spotlight. I mean, she threw her back, and you could say she went to the other side of the room. That's how rough that mess was. And I know Leah Hurst felt that because she took a straight hit to the mat. It was a hard hit, guys. Next to getting thrown into the steps by Camille, that was the second most hardest hit she took during that match. And that match was legitimately a very hard match, a very difficult match. Leah Hurst was trying her best to try and lock her up into a submission of some sort to try and win it because she could not outpower her. In the end, didn't expect Leah Hurst to win. And it's okay. This truly proves that she is a good up-and-coming wrestler. Taking away how small she is. Taking away how like, she's like Wolverine. I say, she's like a damn Wolverine. A scrunchy little runt that will destroy you. That's what she is. She is a scrunchy little runt. Just like when it comes to Jordan Grace, which I'm kind of surprised she didn't show up on the show. Just like Jordan Grace is just like a female version of Rhino. This woman is like Wolverine. Flat out, no questions asked, that's it. Now, I will say that, I gotta at least mention that Trevor Murdoch being there, arguing with a Nick Aldis, it's for tomorrow. It's for the show tomorrow. It had to be. It's alright. Admittedly, I wish they didn't go there, but it is alright. They had to promote it. It's one of the few times they did promote the main show that's coming out tomorrow back at the Chase. And I commend them for doing that because in many other cases, other promotions would have already promoted multiple times for the next night. They only did it once. They made this about the women, and I do respect it. Now, the Women's Invitational Cup. Now, here's where it gets kind of botchy. For me personally, anybody else may like it or love it. For me, it was a little botchy. If this had been a battle royal, and then after the last two participants were left in the ring because it was 10 women. Every 2 minutes, a woman would come in. They would start with 2, and every 2 minutes, someone would come in. If they had just done a battle royal, similar to what Impact does, where they would have the battle royal, and then the last 2 participants would have an actual match, not just that they just got to throw each other out, I would have been more comfortable with that. But they made it very clear they wanted submission and pins only. So all 10 women that had to come in every 2 minutes, they literally had to pin or submit someone. They just throwing them outside didn't mean anything. There was no countouts, no disqualifications. You had to pin or submit your opponents to move on. In other words, to end it. Now, Chelsea Green started with Kiera Hogan. The girl on fire showed up. I want to say this to people who said Kiera Hogan really isn't very good, or that she's a bit stale. Watch this match. At least what parts you can see with her there. No. Sorry, guys. Kiera busted her ass. She lasted all the way to the end as one of the last 4, along with Chelsea Green. There were a lot of women I didn't recognize in here. And Santina Morella's daughter showed up. I can't remember her name. Carlita or Carlisi. Carlisi, I can't pronounce the name. Maybe she'll go to AEW or she'll go to Impact Wrestling. I'm hoping Impact, they need more women. But she showed up. Big girl. Whooped a lot of ass. But she didn't last very long. That was fine. The one thing that pissed me off this was the one thing that fucking made me mad. When Killer Frost came in, she was number... Which one was she? Killer Frost was number 6. She chose not to go into the ring. Fine. I love me some Killer Frost, even though when it came to the Champions series, where she got her butt beat by Paige, I didn't agree with that. I just didn't agree. But she was outside the ring. Fine. They gave her a little title. She was outside the ring. She chose to wait and see if she can find an advantage. They focus on her the majority of the time. Who the fuck thought that was the wisest thing to do and still keep her name there? Instead of leaving it, taking her name off the title. I believe I got it in my face. I think I got it. And then focus on the work in the ring. Some moron in the production left it that way and told the cameraman to continue looking at Killer Frost instead of what was going on in the fucking ring. That was the most stupidest, boneheaded move you can make on a pay-per-view that's supposed to focus on women. The only thing Killer Frost was doing, just standing there. And they were showing her for almost the entire 2 minutes and maybe a little bit more. Why did they go there? What was the point? And then they didn't even switch cameras. They kept the same camera. I still believe I got that shot. It's in my face again. I am so angry because these women who were in the ring were busting their ass deserve better. Better than that. You want to make this mean something. Who the hell was in the production truck? I don't care if they're man or woman. I don't care if it was Gail Kim herself or Jazz. Whoever else was running it and there was a woman. Smack you in your damn face because you just made the women in the ring look stupid or not mean anything. You made Killer Frost the focus. Why? You in love with her? You want to screw her or something? Or did you actually act stupid and not realize, what's going on here? Why are we still... Oh, damn, I didn't realize. I told him to keep focusing on, go over there, go over there. I wanted to smack the guy or girl who did that. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're bigger than me, stronger than me. I would have liked to smack the living taste out of their mouth for that. I am angry. I'm ranting. I don't give a damn. Anyway, there were 4 women that were remaining. You had Chelsea Green. You had Kiera Hogan. You had, who's that woman? Sakogish? I can't pronounce her name. What was her name? Slamakogish. I believe that's her name. And then you had the hometown girl, what was her name? Trudy Lynn. Even her family was there. I didn't get a shot of their family. Now, it was interesting to see Trudy Green there. She's supposed to be the Blue Dragon, I believe. I can't remember the name of her. But admittedly, at first, she really didn't think about how she was going to get into the ring quickly. She had a gi on and goes to the ring, but didn't remember, oh, maybe I shouldn't tie it too tightly or make myself look like I got to struggle, because she struggled a little bit just to get her damn gi off. She literally had to slip it off of herself because she couldn't untie it. Now, that could be just an experience because maybe she hasn't been in wrestling very long, maybe 4 or 5 years, and she might have been really nervous and overtied it. But honestly, these are the types of things you need to work out before you get into something special. But this is a good learning experience for many of those women. They needed this. They needed to have this moment so they can learn. They can watch this and see, oh, I did this right. I did that right. Oh, damn, I look stupid. And maybe Tootie Lynn will learn that when you go to the ring in your damn gi, make sure you don't put it in a knot that you can't get it out and you got to struggle to the point where you got to slip it past your ass. I'm just saying. Was she a good wrestler? She kind of reminded me of an early Sasha Banks. That she looks like she has skill, but she's still a bit unrefined. That's the way she looked to me personally. In the end, Kira was taken out. She was one before getting taken out. It was Trudy, I believe that's her name, Trudy and Chelsea Green that was left. And I didn't know who was going to win. I was going to be kind of surprised they let Trudy win, but then I'm thinking, well, they're going to be there. This is leading into 73 of NWA, so whoever wins here goes and challenges Camille, who just had a really good match. So I wouldn't be totally surprised if we're going to give it to her, but they gave it to Chelsea, an Impact star, which she won clean. She pinned her clean. She used the kill switch since a Christian's there who does the kill switch. She did a kill switch. Then you had the celebratory. Everyone was around. She hugged Trudy right afterward. I believe I got a shot at that. If I don't, I'm sorry. And everyone came out to celebrate that they had their own women's promotion. This was a moment. Now, I could have used that for my title, but no. This is not about this is a moment. This is about proving Vince wrong. Guys, over the years, many, many years, people have said women could never make a lot of money. Now, we know it counts on how can I say this to you? I've always said this when it came to Tessa Blanchard. I really do believe Jordynne Grace would have been better, or Havoc, because they looked more legitimate. But it didn't take anything away from a Tessa Blanchard. The one problem I had with her was that she was not booked correctly. They made it all about her being a woman, instead of making it about her being a wrestler. Here, yes, this was about women's wrestling. Women showing that they can make money. But Vince never believing a woman could truly make money, particularly the way he books his show, because the women in WWE, Raw, SmackDown, suck for women. Naomi getting treated like crap is wrong, unless it's going to be that she's going to join the Bloodline. If she does never join the Bloodline, that made no sense for her to be booked the way she is. I'm just saying, for Vince, who owns the biggest promotion on the planet, and no matter what you say, there have been other promotions that do it. Sherman does their own shows. Sorry, guys. This is generally about proving Vince wrong with someone who wanted, with her credentials as a legend in his own damn company and the wrestling industry, saying, would you let me do this? Let's do this. And Vince shooting it damn down and only booking it the way he wanted. You let Mickie James book it the way she wanted. Now, mind you, they were late when they started. The lighting wasn't exactly great. Audio was breaking up on and off. It was not good. And even camera work was not great. Now, mind you, there was a lot of things going well for this. Having the NWA Tag Team Championships for the women set up for being brought back was great. Seeing that Billy Corgan came out himself and he showed the original 1953 NWA Women's title to the world to honor, what was the woman's name? I can't remember her name. I forgot her name. Blazo, I believe that's her name. And to honor her by showing the title and that they're making it mean about good wrestling for women. That was important. Seeing that these women busted their butt, and not all of them were great, but it doesn't mean this entire show was trash. It was actually very good. The last matches throughout, the first match was not great. And when it came to Sky Blue and, what was the woman's name? Janela's, wasn't that great. But every woman had an opportunity to show what they can do. And I'm not saying it was perfect, but I can honestly say that these women proved that not only they sold out their chase, which wasn't a big place, but they still sold it out. And the pay-per-view buys, I'm sure are going to be really good. I'm not going to say they're going to be the biggest thing because it's still NWA. They don't have a huge reach. But easily, they're going to show they made money. And does Vince going to care about that? Of course not. Of course he won't. But we'll care as wrestling fans because we hope that these women, whether they're in AAA, NWA, Impact Wrestling, and AEW, get booked like the guys and actually have meaningful storylines that we care about. I want to make this clear. And no guys and girls who care about women's tits and ass, they're going to still see what they love. They're going to still see women jiggling their titties everywhere and showing their ass, just like the men. The men get their asses shown too, let's be honest. Ugh. But we want them to be treated the same with the storylines and then show if they can do their promos, their in-ring work, to be ring generals in their own right, and tell a story in the ring. That's what we want. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoy EmPowerrr 2021. Please give me a comment below. I will be looking at NWA 73 and be doing my review of that. I hope you enjoy this. Give me a comment, a like maybe. Share it. I'm not really a big sharing guy. I don't know why I keep doing that. I guess I want to try and prove that I want to grow what I have here, my brand, I guess. I don't even know if I have a brand. Peace.